presented by Vintage Guitar Magazine, with your host, me, James Patrick Regan, otherwise known as Jimmy from the Deadlies. And today I'm speaking with legendary bassist and vocalist Glenn Hughes. In our conversation, Glenn tells us about his new album, Chosen, which will be released September 5th, and the guys in his band. Glenn describes his basses and his gear, orange basses and amps, and Nash basses. Glenn talks about how he maintains his voice at the age of 74, and Glenn talks about what brought him to the bass in the first place, and his influences not only for bass, but for voice as well. Glenn describes being in Deep Purple at the height of their fame, and working with Ritchie Blackmore, as well as Tony Iommi, Gary Moore, Joe Bonamassa, and recently Steve Vai and Joe Satriani. Glenn talks about his upcoming tour for the new album and the gear he'll be bringing with him. And finally, Glenn tells us about his home life, for the few moments he's at home. To find out more about Glenn and his tour dates, you can check out his website, glennhughes.com. That's GLENNHUGHES.com. Please subscribe, like, comment, share, and most of all, review this podcast. I'd really appreciate it. And please support Vintage Guitar Magazine for all the wonderful things they do for us guitar players and bass players. Because they do so many wonderful things for us guitar players and bass players. Here's my buddy Glenn.
Hello, James. How are you, man?
How are you? Nice to see you.
I'm
Glenn.
good. How you doing?
I'm fine. How's life treating you?
It's good. I'm having some free time right now, which is a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Where are you at? You look someplace sunny.
I'm in LA at my home.
Okay, great. You live in LA, in the greater LA, or?
Where are you, my friend?
I'm in Northern California. I'm in Napa.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
How lovely.
Well, like LA, it's a tourist town.
Yes, it is.
I love the new album. It's fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Who's playing guitar on it?
Søren Andersen. He's been with me for 17 years. He's my right-hand man. He's a great guitar player and a lovely person.
Sure. And on drums?
Ash Sheehan. He's been in my band for 8 years.
Wow.
Great drummer. Drummer.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah. What kind of bass were you playing on the album?
That would be either my signature orange guitar, bass guitar, and it would be my Nash P bass.
Okay, all right, and it's because the bass sounds fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah, and what are you playing directly into the board? Or are you playing through an amp? How do you?
I'm playing through an amp.
Okay,
through an amp. Absolutely.
What amp?
It's the orange.
Okay.
The orange AD200. It's incredible.
Yeah, it sounds fantastic. And on a couple of the tracks that you have like sort of a distorted tone.
Yeah, it's a blues breaker pedal.
Okay.
I like some grit on the last few albums. I like the edgy grit,
Yeah.
Not too much, but enough to make the sustain better,
Sure, absolutely. Absolutely. And this is probably a softball question, but how do you maintain your voice at 75? You have one of the strongest voices I've heard.
Well, I'm going to be 74 next month.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So no, it's okay. It's okay. So, great question. The question should be answered appropriately. Whereas I think all those years ago, I may have been thinking or overthinking about how I'm going to sing today or tonight, maybe overanalyzing about my performance. In the last 15 years or so, I've changed completely. I just allow things to happen rather than bring them to the forefront. I don't think about the next note I'm going to sing.
Okay.
I think when you see someone hesitating or thinking about what they're going to do in instruments, or you can actually see their mind thinking. Mm-hmm. I don't think about it. I just allow it to happen.
Sure.
I'm very, very fortunate that I've come to that reasoning. That's the best way for me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. When you early on, did you take voice lessons, or any point in your career did you have to take voice lessons?
I sang in the choir as a child.
Okay.
And for me, I may have taken some voice lessons about singing, how to sing 20 years ago. It didn't work.
Yeah.
The people I was working with maybe were pushing me to be more aggressive and probably singing the wrong way.
Yeah.
With all respect to those people, it was the wrong way for me. I had a couple of voice coaches was wrong. So I decided to take it into my own hands.
Yeah.
For me, the warm-up is the sound check. I always do 3 songs in the sound check at pretty high level, and some warm-ups before I go on stage.
Okay. And do you perform the same 3 songs?
Yeah, normally the first 3 songs on my show.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. What brought you to the bass?
I started playing guitar as a preteen.
Okay.
And somewhere in like 15 or 16 years old, my best friend was in a band. He was a guitar player, Mel Galley, of course, from Trapeze.
Sure.
I wanted to play with him so badly, and the bass player of his band he was playing with left. And he said, well, how do you fancy playing bass? I went, well, give me 24 hours. So I figured out, I switched from playing guitar to playing bass simply so I could play with Mel.
Yeah. And what bass did you have early on?
I had a 1962 jazz bass. Can you believe it?
Right on. And how'd you manage to get that?
I bought it from the bass player that left the band.
Okay. Great.
And like a fool, I sold it. I should never have sold it.
And what were you using for an amp?
Vox. I had a Vox bass amp.
Okay. All right. Very good.
Vox, yeah.
And did you have bass players after you'd played for a while, bass players that you looked up to?
Well, James Jamerson and McCartney are my first 2 choices.
Yeah.
And I befriended Andy Fraser from Free.
Sure.
In my opinion, the best British bass player, blues bass player of my generation.
Yeah.
So between Andy Fraser, James Jamerson, and Paul McCartney, all the boxes were ticked.
Yeah. Right on. What was it like being in Deep Purple as a young 20-year-old and being in one of the biggest bands in the world?
Yeah, they were massive, and it was different for me. I was coming from a band called Trapeze, which were doing really well in America. So I had a big decision to make. Am I going to leave my friends and my family to join this band that was already established? So it was a difficult period for me. So looking back, maybe I shouldn't have joined. Maybe I should have stayed with my band,
What was it like working with Ritchie Blackmore?
Crazy. Great guitar player. I got along really well with him on a one-on-one level. Ritchie was an isolator. He liked to have his own dressing room, own car, blah, blah. A little difficult for me coming into that band, but in general, it was okay.
Yeah. And traveling the U.S. at that stage, what was that like?
Well, we had our own plane, which was great.
Yeah.
And it was massive back then. In the mid-'70s, it was a different era back then. So it was glamorous and crazy.
Yeah, yeah. What were you using for gear when you were playing with Deep Purple?
Hiwatts. I had 2 200-watt Hiwatt amps designed for me by Hiwatt.
Wow.
Which were incredible.
Yeah.
I still have them.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
Right on. And as far as basses?
I had a Fender P-Bass, a 1962 P-Bass.
Yeah. And you've had the opportunity to work with a lot of different guitar players.
I have, yeah.
Like world-renowned guitar players, not unlike yourself as a bass player and a singer. Any of the, like Tony Iommi, what was it like working with Tony?
Well, I've known Tony 55 years, like a brother to me. Tony is as you could imagine, he pretty much invented heavy metal, in my opinion. Like a great human being.
Sure.
Very simple, soft-spoken fellow. Of course, it no disrespect, it helps with his plastic fingers,
Yeah.
It helps to create that sound.
Sure.
But Tony, whatever guitar he plays, it's just Tony Iommi. When I was working with him, I would work with him, and he would come to 5 different versions of riffs for me to finish with him. Every day there was 5 different riffs for me to finish. It was incredible.
Right on. That's great. Well, how about working with Gary Moore?
Absolutely mind-blowing. Possibly one of the greatest guitar player I've ever worked with. And I've worked with a lot of guitar players. Gary was a personal friend. I love him. I loved his work.
Yeah.
I would like everybody to listen to Gary Moore because he was such an incredible guitar player.
Certainly. And more recently, what's it like working with Joe Bonamassa?
In my opinion, the greatest blues rock guitar player alive today. And I've worked with them all.
Yeah.
I've just finished a tour with Joe in June. We had a great run in Europe. Fantastic. Right now, he's the greatest rock guitar player and blues guitar player alive, in my opinion.
Sure. And also you've worked with Steve Vai and Satriani recently.
Decades old friends. We've been speaking about doing something for 4 decades, and
Wow.
we got together in early this year and we created this I Want to Play My Guitar, which is a kooky song. I really enjoy working with Joe and Steve. Maybe there'll be some more too.
Okay, great. That's fantastic. And so touring this album, I think you're touring in Europe.
Yeah.
And possibly, well, everywhere but except for the U.S. Is there?
I'm going to be doing this year. I'm going to be doing Europe and South America, and I'm hoping to do a America tour next April.
Okay, great.
We're planning on that.
Yeah, yeah. And are there venues in the U.S. that you feel like they're your home?
Well, there's quite a few. I just all over America. There's pockets of America I love. I got my name as a singer in the early 70s in trapeze, playing in Texas, in the southern states of America, where I was quite popular back then.
Okay.
So I do enjoy going back to Texas, and I do enjoy going to New York, and of course LA. I mean, I'm an LA man,
Yeah. Where did the fires affect you at all?
No, we live the other side of the bay, so we live in the South Bay area, at the beach. So we're all good.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that.
Thank God.
Yes, exactly. And so when you tour, what do you take with you on tour?
I take my Orange equipment. I have the tiny Terra bass amps. They're 4 kilos. They're very light. Yes, I have 2 of those. I have 6 of them.
Wow.
I use 2 on stage. They're 1,000 watts. Can you believe it? Each. And I have my 2 8x10s, orange, and the color now is purple.
Uh-huh.
And I take my signature bass and my Nash. I'm having a new Nash J bass made with both a J pickup and a P pickup.
Sure. So your signature bass, that's with orange?
It's with orange, yeah.
Okay.
The Glenn Hughes O signature bass.
And has Fender ever made a signature bass for you?
They were gonna do that, and then I switched to I've been with Nash now for 15 years. Bill Nash is one of my close friends. He's been making me a whole. I've got like 15 Bill Nash bass guitars. They're all incredible.
Yeah. Rickenbacker, do you still play Rickenbackers?
I have them, but I don't play them live anymore. They're a little bit past for me.
Okay, very good. Do you have a guitar and bass collection?
I do have some vintage stuff.
And
I have a vintage a J bass with the original strings on it.
Wow.
It's in mint condition.
Wow.
I play on most of my albums a 1965 P bass, which has been on all my albums for 20 years,
Okay.
And those 2 basses are my vintage, beautiful bass guitars.
Yeah. How about amps? Do you collect amps, old amps?
I'm not a collector of amps, no. Only the ones I've got from Purple, the 2 high watts.
Okay, all right. Very good. And what about guitars? Do you collect guitars?
I don't. I have a 68p. A vintage Les Paul Black Beauty, which was Mel Galley's guitar from Trapeze, who later joined Whitesnake, and I got that when he passed away, and I bought it from his lovely wife.
Okay.
So that's in good hands with me.
Yes, of course.
So I'm sure Joe Bonamassa would like it at some point, but we'll have to wait and see.
Do you do shopping at all for guitars? I mean, you have your signatures, but do you?
When I'm with Joe, I may go shopping with him. He does all the business. He also tells me what's good to buy and what's not good to buy. But I've got literally 80 guitars and basses at my house here, so or in storage. I've got a lot of stuff, in storage. So.
Do you ever break stuff out and just to play with it?
Yeah, I do. Upstairs here, it's a lot of stuff in my studio. When I'm writing, I always pick a different guitar and work with it. But I normally write with the 68 Les Paul.
Okay, so you do write on guitar first, and then
I do. I always go to guitar first, and then sometimes I play bass guitar when I'm writing.
Yeah, very cool riffs on all the songs. So you come up. You come up with a riff and then do the lyrics, or vice versa.
Yeah, I do the riff or a chord. All the stuff on my album I wrote myself. So I do. And by the way, the album you've been listening to was written in February, March, of April last year in 2024. I went into the studio in June and I demo everything on my iPhone.
Oh yeah, of course. Yes, that's great. Early on, who were your singers? That you?
Oh, it's always been Stevie Wonder for me.
Oh, really?
He's been my mentor for 55 years. I met Stevie in 1974 when I was making an album with Deep Purple. We were both in the record plant in LA, and he walked in, and I kind of asked him to come and listen to what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I was doing a song that I basically sounded very much like him, if you will.
Yeah.
And he was, we made really good friends, and we've been friends all these years. He's a really good friend of mine.
That's fantastic. And what album was he working on at that point?
Songs in the Key of Life.
Yeah. Awesome.
And I went in and watched him record for like a day of watching him. Incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic. What kind of stuff do you do for when you're not doing music? What kind of stuff do you do for fun?
I walk a lot. I live at the beach here, so I swim a lot. I read a lot of books. When I'm on downtime, which is not very often, I like to just chill.
Yeah.
But I do good physical therapy. I like to keep in shape.
Sure, you look fantastic.
I'm a vegan, and I have a great life. I say that with respect. I'm just really grateful to be here where I am right now.
Yeah, yeah. You're not spending too much time at the Rainbow anymore?
We go once every couple of months for the pizza.
Okay. All right. Very good.
Yeah.
Well, it's been an honor to talk to you. I really appreciate your time.
The pleasure is all mine. It's always good to see you, my friend.
Yeah, thank you, Glenn. Hope I get to see you playing. If you ever get up here to Northern California, I hope I get.
I'm hoping to see you next April.
Okay.
It's my pleasure.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Have Guitar Will Travel. You can catch up on all the things I'm doing at thedeadlies.com, and I'm on all the social media platforms as well. And please support Vintage Guitar and all the wonderful things they do, because they do many, many wonderful things for us guitar players. Thanks. Please subscribe. Please tell a friend, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.